Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll introduce myself for anybody that's new to this class. My name is Kyla Gent, and I've been part of the Human Garage community for just over 1.5 years. I'm your facilitator on this call, and this is a co-creation between myself and my two awesome coaches, teammates, sisters, Lee in the orange and Julie in the tank top. And this is something that we've been doing for a number of months together since last fall. And it's just been a really beautiful opportunity to do some maneuvers together and to just connect in community. It's amazing how we can heal in a group movement. And the people in this community are just so magical. The people that show up for this call are like super magical. And I'm just so grateful for this opportunity to be here with you all. The way that this class works is that we do the movement first, and our coaches, Lee and Julie, take turns every week. So this is Lee's week. She'll be leading us through about 30-40 minutes of movement. And then we'll have some time for talking about what's coming up, how things are going, how everyone's feeling, just anything that you choose to bring into the space. So we'll start by syncing up. Let's put our right foot over our left, crossing it over at the ankle, our right hand under our left armpit, our left hand on top of your right shoulder. And then we'll turn the head to the left, body to the right, and take 3 breaths in and out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. 1,
What's up? Scrap what you down. Let's go down.
2, and 3. Coming back to center. We'll unwind. And Lee, I will spotlight you for everyone so that we can see your magical moves.
Thanks. Good to see everyone today. What a gorgeous day. All over the world. We're going for it. Starting the love fest again. Leaving all the confusion of cancer and all those emotions. So just rub your hands a little bit together just to get into your body. And Gisela, who's a person in the Human Garage world, an energy worker, really believes in clapping for 30 times just to clear the energy and have that energy be 100% in your body. So we're going to go for the clapping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. And shake it in and let it go. Roll your shoulders and start with bilaterally, heart to kidney. A little bit of swaying. Drop your chin to your chest while you're doing this. And I'm going to invite a whole lot of ideas into our body today. So the first one, and I recommend, if it's safe for you, just to repeat them out loud after I say them. So the first one is, I give myself support with ease.
I give myself support with ease.
And I call on support.
And I call on support.
And I choose to use it.
And I choose to use it.
And that just makes me laugh every time. Because I often call on support and then I just ignore it. but no. Today was an overwhelmed morning for me. So I call on support and I choose to use it. And third one, and then we move on. I give myself my highest choices.
I give myself my highest choices.
Good. So I want to breathe those through our bodies. We're going to do something a little bit more active at the beginning. So left hand goes on to the right shoulder and the right hand grabs the side of the rib cage. Lift up the hand that you're holding the shoulder and then lift it up some more and lift it up some more. So it's really up there. And then sit down as if you're sitting in a chair. look to your hand and lift it up even more. Take a breath in through your mouth. And then as you exhale, sit down. Breathe up and sit down. Squeeze your butt. Let it go. In through the nose and let it go. Squeeze up and let it go. Squeeze up and let it go. Now see if you can hug yourself even tighter. And then play with this idea that as you hug yourself, you can move fascia between your hands. So you're pulling up on your shoulder and then releasing that, pulling on the side rib. And as you get comfortable with that movement, I'm going to invite you to start pumping and walking. So you sit down, inhale up, exhale, up, in. Good. I'm going to go faster because I'm falling over here. Got to get into my feet. Great. So find the speed that's right for you, but it's a lunge. So you're lunging, exhaling, squeezing up. Good. And find the speed and the breath that helps you pump this through your whole body. Good. Shake it out. And now walk that in just a little bit. You can do a figure 8 in whatever space you're in. You'll be asymmetrical because we've only released one side. So I had a lot of resistance to doing that. I was off balance. I had all sorts of stuff come up. I was losing my breath while I was talking. So I'm going, this is interesting for me. Right hand onto the left shoulder. Left hand captures the side of the rib cage. Turn your nose to your hand holding your shoulder. Lift it up and again and again and keep it up there. Keep it raised up and then just sit down in that chair. Breathe in and exhale, let go. Breathe in. Exhale, let go. Breathe in. Now, sit down as you exhale. Inhale through your nose. Exhale down, softly squeeze up. Exhale down for the last time. Squeeze up. Perfect. Now see if you can get going in that walk again. So you're going to raise that shoulder, sit down, and then inhale up. Really pumping it through. Good. In the nose, out the mouth. Great. And come back to neutral. And notice that that was a little more kind of coherent, a little more coordinated. And the heart is going, the blood is circulating. And let's continue to open up this heart space. So find with your fingers, your 2 pointer fingers, your sternal notch, and just lay them into that nice little notch. Let them melt in there for a second. See if they want to curl into your throat a little bit. And you can add 2 more fingers if you want, your middle fingers too. Roll your shoulders while you're holding this compression and notice if the collarbones pop, if there's movement there. Good. I call on support.
Support,
And I use it.
and I use it.
Yeah. I have to laugh at myself. Good. Okay, right beside that notch, you've got 2 beautiful little buttons. And these buttons are where the clavicle sits on top of ribs 1 and 2. See if you can take your fingers and just dial a circle. So press straight into these buttons and kind of encircle them, and then dial them down. Good. And hold those there. Now breathe into your hands. and push them forward. Push your breath into your fingertips. Another one. Good. And another one. Now see if you can roll your shoulders while you're breathing in through your nose and letting it go through your nose and letting it go through your nose. Yeah, we're going for 6 here. Good. And just notice, tap it in. Do the sound of yam. Ya. Good. Now you've got some lift here, and you can notice it just by popping your hand on your upper rib cage and taking a breath in. And notice if there's a little more expansion and lift on those 1 and 2, 3 ribs, because that's where we're going next. So you find your sternal notch again, and then the little buttons that we just released. And then just beside them, here's that nice sternum bone where your ribs attach. I'm going to ask you to take your fingers and weave them into the intercostal muscles. So between the rib bones, there's little valleys. And I'm asking you to just take your finger pads, so not your nails, it's the pads of your fingers, and feed them all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Drop your chin, take a breath in, and let that go. Another breath in, and let it go. Third one, into your fingertips. Nice. Now, open your elbows as if someone's pulling them, and feel the traction that's happening in your fingertips. Breathe in through your nose. Ah, yes to my heart.
Yes, to my heart.
And I go. We're going to put that together. Yes to my heart, and I go.
Yes, to my heart, and I go.
Perfect. Roll your shoulders, and you're allowing this idea that someone's pulling your elbows out and your shoulder blades in the back are actually starting to touch your spine, breathing in through your nose. Yes to my heart, and I go.
Yes to my heart, and I go.
And I go.
Keep expanding out to the sides, just allowing your fingertips to drift and flow through your fascia, all the way to your shoulder insertion points. Good. Great. Tap a little bit. You can yam a little bit and walk it in. And notice the lift that you're getting on the top of your rib cage now, just effortlessly. It's floating up and forward. Your heart is coming forward. It's going in front of you now. Really, really, really good. Okay, roll the shoulders. Let that go in. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands on top of our hip bones. But initially, sometimes we can't feel this. So take the webbing of your thumb and first finger and just compress it into the center towards your spine. And then take a breath in and then intentionally push against your hands. Find your contraction there. Find your muscles and push out against the web of your hand. Exhale. Take another breath in. Find where your hands are, and as you're exhaling, you can pelvic tilt forward, a little bit of a curl. And even do that. You can hear what I'm doing. I'm kind of, where are all of these lateral muscles, and what do they feel like, and what does this fascia feel like? Now, third time in, big breath in. Great. Now exhale. Expanding your hands, your whole side. Yeah. Good. Now this time with this whole L shape, move your hands into your body and notice if you can move them in closer to the center of your spine and sit right on top of the hip bones. So it's as if you've melted, and you have fascia right there, and you've got this ability now to press directly down. So when you press on top of your hip bones, the very top of them, you can feel that as you push down, there's a connection to your heels, your feet into the floor. So take a moment and feel that I'm melting, and you can lengthen a little bit on each side and let your hands, I give my hands permission
Give my hands permission.
I give
to
my
melt my
hands
fascia.
permission
To
melt
melt
my
my
fascia.
Yeah. And notice right away, there might have been a response for you. Take another breath into that space. As you exhale, soften this time and let your hands float into the center of your body, straight down on top of your hip bones. And then bend a little bit forward, hinge at the hips. And maybe drop one knee and the other knee. And you're exploring the space under compression. Good. Keep your right hand on top of your hip bone. Take your left hand and place it on top of the right hand. And now I'm going to invite you just to tilt over or arc to the left and divide this space by lifting up your rib cage with your left hand, pushing down still, and push into the top of that hip bone so you feel it reflecting into your foot in the heel. Good. Breath in, breath out. Breath in and out. In through the mouth and out. Turn your nose to the ceiling, to the right shoulder, in through the nose and out. Arc more in. Separate your two hands. Push into the floor with your bottom hand. In and out. Good. And walk that in and notice the length that you've created in your waist. And feel this reorganization slide up the side of your body, through your rib cage. Roll your shoulder back a little bit, even your scapula down the back of your body, like a nice bar of soap in a hot shower. And feel your heart is leading. You're floating into alignment with your heart leading. All this space feels great. Take your left hand and pop it inside the waist that you've created now, that nice little soft zone, and then drop it straight down on top of the hip bone so that you connect the feeling of the foot. You're pushing all the way through that line into your foot. Right hand goes on top and sits right beside, and then you arc over to the right. Good, just like that. Take a breath in through your mouth into your hands and expand your hands in and out. In. Nice and expansive. In and out. Good. Now in through the nose. Push down with your bottom hand. Raise up with your top hand. Turn your nose to the ceiling. Exhale. In through the nose. Exhale. Create this beautiful arc. In and exhale. Good. And walk it in and feel this reorganization. Can you feel how this front rib cage is just floating up? Heart is opening, heart space is opening. Alignment is floating into place. With your right hand, right in the center of your eyebrow, just take a moment and with your wrist right up to the top of the ceiling, press straight down with your finger pads. So your chin kind of comes in a little bit, so it's not sticking out. It's just tucked in a bit, and that's going to lengthen the back of your neck a little bit. And get your hands connected to this tissue. And when you feel that they're connected to the forehead tissue, just dial a spin and go both ways. Whatever way the tension is, go into the tension. And if you need to reset your fingers because the tension is going in a way that makes it impossible for you to track, which was my case, you just move your hands so that you get that idea. Okay, so here we are, right in the front of our thoughts. Nice breath in. Let it go. Breathing in through the nose. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Let it go. Pick up that spin if it's let go. If it's starting to move and your hands are slipping, just press your palm or your fingertips in again. Breathe in 1, 2. Keep breathing. 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4. Let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Notice if your fingers have actually spun some fascia and reconnect with this spot on your forehead. Connect with the tension. Breathe in 1, 2, 3. Bigger. 4. Let it go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. So just take a moment and just rock front to back on your feet and connect that dot to your shoulders, to your rib cage, to your hips, to your feet, all on the right side. Breathe it in, back and forth, a little bit of like an examination. You're going up and down with a bit of a flashlight, nice white light. Noticing what you notice. Okay. Again with your right hand. Go back to the same spot above your right eyebrow. Notice which way the tension is, the resistance, and spin into it in whatever direction it is. Good. Take a breath in through your nose. I forgive what I don't know.
I forgive what I don't know.
Exhale. Another breath in. And I move forward anyways.
And I move
And I move forward and
Good. Another breath in. Yes to my heart, and I go.
yes to my heart. And I go.
And I go. Good. Take that breath in again, rocking, hands down by your side, rock feet, toes to heel, toes to heel. Find your natural center. Let it just settle like a pendulum. And again, map this connection you've got from your thoughts to your floating forward heart. Breath is happening through your belly. There's a like a kind of a generous buzz going up the whole line. Notice if there's a spot in your jaw that might need some work, or if there's another spot in your neck. I'm speaking for myself. Good. Left hand goes on top of the left eyebrow. And you're once again going to take the finger pads and just spin the tissue while you're compressing on the face of your forehead in both directions. And notice if there's tension in the spin going one way, and simply spin into that. Breathe in through the nose and out. 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 And notice if the spin is starting to happen, the fascia is releasing on your forehead, and you're just being given permission to kind of spin it on your fingertips. Good. Take that moment, drop your hand. Notice the connection all the way along your left line. Good. And once again, take your fingertips, left hand, left eyebrow. Check in. Is the tension still the same direction? Is it different? Go into the tension. Take a breath in. Fear, you have no power here.
You have no power.
you have no power here.
I am the authority here.
I am the authority.
Good. Pick up your fingertips if you need to and spin again. Fear, you have no power here.
Here, you know.
I'm the authority here.
I'm the
Really nice. Good. Take a moment with your eyes closed. Rock from front to back, toe to the back of the heel. Settle into the center of you. Take a breath in. And notice if you literally are a tube of light, you've just got this connection of light going from your feet all the way up through your lines, your side lines, up and down as you breathe in. Allow that expansion of the upper rib cage in your heart moving forward. Feel it physically. Let it come into your cheeks. Good. And take your two fingers, the two sets of fingers on the little spot. I'll get away from the mic, on the little spot that's on top of the jaw. So when you clench your jaw and the muscle pops out, that's what I'm asking you to put it on. So clench your jaw, pop the muscle up. The right hand goes forward and the left hand goes back. So you push into the center once you found that nice little muscle, and then spin the right hand forward, the left hand back, open your jaw, and a nice big Leo tongue, a nice lion tongue.
Ah,
That's it. Shake it out. Roll your shoulders at the same time. And allow that to move through. And then just sweep down the face of your throat a couple of times, really gently. You know, like you're petting a cat. That's how gentle. Just a couple of times. And then sweep down, pin on top of the collarbone a little tension on those two nice little buttons that you opened up a little bit earlier. So you sweep down and you hold a little contraction or traction there. With your other hand, almost like a blade, you just sweep your chin up, but you're not crunching the back of your neck. You're just gently supporting your chin. Breathe through your nose and then swallow. And roll your shoulders if your swallow's stuck.
good.
Swallow while you're breathing through your nose. Mhm. Mhm. Good. Keep that rolling. And then just put both hands on. I speak my truth with
Speak
love.
my truth
I
with
speak
love.
my truth with love.
Another breath in. Feel the warmth of your hands coming into the face of your throat. So it's so gentle, this. I speak my truth with love.
I speak my truth with love.
And the last one. I speak my truth with love.
My
I
truth.
speak my truth with love.
Perfect. Let your hands slide down your body. Roll your shoulders. So we've been working the endocannabinoid points, and these are all about homeostasis and balance in your body, and the fascia maneuvers, breath naturally stimulate them. So we're adding this little extra power of a conversation with those points in our body because they have such an amazing power of regulatory function over all of our systems. So a little bit of experiment. Thanks for participating with me. I'm really curious what you guys thought of this, and I appreciate you going on this journey with me. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah, if anybody would like to share how they're feeling, what their experience was like. I feel very relaxed and calm in this kind of dreamy, watery place, which I'm really enjoying. If
Yeah,
everyone
me
is
too.
just, yeah, in a place where you're feeling, yeah, connected and calm, Julie. Powerful class from Erica. Body so warm. Pillar of light. Beautiful. Well, let's carry this through. Daniela, go ahead.
Yeah, I just quickly wanted to give a feedback that I felt this connection from top to toe on my left a lot, not on my right. In that way, I felt it on the left. It was quite interesting. And I had some mucus coming up, some congestion, which eased out. So this is what I felt. And
I like
I'm
that.
quite warm now. I'm really heated up. I can feel I'm quite warm now.
Mm.
Thank you for
But
sharing.
and on your right, what you can literally, if you're noticing that there is that kind of asymmetry of connectivity or space or ease, you can, I give myself permission to feel the same on my right as I do on my left and see what happens. Like invite, because you have this factual experience of what's happening on your left. You have literally something for your brain, body, heart, soul, and mind to duplicate. It's happening in real time. So give yourself permission in real time too and see what happens. See if it just opens up.
I will try later on.
Yeah, it's fun to talk to our fascia. It's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done this before. It's quite new to me to have this decrease and talking to the body and speaking out loud. And I have to translate it in my language because if I'm speaking it in English, I don't feel it like I feel it when I'm speaking it in German. So I always need to translate it for me. And I just started on this kind of talking to myself and to my body, which is really new to me. I can recognize a lot and I'm talking in my head a lot, but I'm not talking out loud to the body, so that I can feel it really.
So there's two things that are happening that you said that are super smart. Yes, always speak to your inner child, your 4-year-old body child, in your mother tongue. This is the best and the direct way. So you intuitively understood that right away. And the reason you're doing it out loud is because you're really talking to that 4-year-old. And with with your kids, when they're processing and they're playing an intense game, it's all out loud. They're moving all the dolls around, they're building the blocks, they're doing everything. All of it is being processed out loud. So it's getting back into that connection. It's not even the body, it's my body, my child. And this is the most kind way to speak.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I didn't thought about it. Yes, of course, the kids are always talking about what they are doing and like they process their emotions. It's like loud and it's like everyone can see it and can feel it if they're not, like pushed down to handle their emotions inside. No, you're totally right. We have to look at this more often. I mean, I'm looking at this every day, but I didn't do it for myself yet. So I'm still into this process.
Well, there's a lot of belief that the fascia is a physical representation of our subconscious. So this is the way we can literally handle and touch and support our subconscious shifting, our subconscious looking at another perspective. And it's a direct doorway in. So fascia maneuvers are amazing that way. It's why they're so successful. It's because they're dealing with our subconscious, taking that stress down.
Thank you, Lee.
You're welcome.
Yeah, really beautifully put, Lee. Thanks for speaking into that. Lots of great feedback in the chat there. Thanks everyone for sharing.
Yeah.
So
I
we're
wanted to,
go ahead, Lee.
sorry.
Yeah.
There was one affirmation that I didn't weave in, but I choose to do it just as a group because it's very random and might surprise you a little bit. But part of my process and all of the balls and plates and spinning wheels that I have going on in my various, and just take a breath, put your hand on your heart and your left hand on your head and say, I have yet to know how to pay for this.
I have yet to know how to pay for this.
No, pay for this.
But I allow
I allow
myself to be universally supported.
allow
The
myself to
universe
be
and
universally supported.
I call on
and
support
I call on
I
support
call on support,
and I choose to use it.
and I choose to use.
and use
Thank you, everyone, for supporting me.
it.
And I hope that supports you too somehow.
Beautiful invitation. I love that. Okay, so if you choose to sit, you're welcome to. If you choose to stay standing, you're welcome to do that as well. I love the pace of the class today. I'm finding that I'm in a very quiet, slow, gentle, tender energy right now. And so let's just come into our energetic space wherever that is, and we'll weave it all together into this container. Closing your eyes if that feels comfortable. I'll invite you to bring your right hand to your heart and just rub your palm against your heart space a little bit. Notice how there's instantly some heat that begins to build. And then just invite your left hand to find its way up the line of your body, maintaining contact all the way up the side of your neck, side of your face, to the top of your head, and just plant that palm right on the top of your head. I like to imagine that my left hand is some sort of amoeba or water creature, and just letting the fingers move up and down on the top of your hair or your head, keeping the palm in contact and just gently moving the fingers, almost like they're underwater. And then slowing that motion down, just let them rest. And now let the weight of your hand press slightly down into the top of your head as you meet it with the top of your head, lifting up towards the sky. Let's take 3 breaths in and out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 3 breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, tilting your chin down slightly towards your chest. 1, relaxing your shoulders with each exhale. 2, and 3. Taking your left hand and tracing it down the opposite side of your head, down your neck, softly landing it on the back of your right hand, feeling the warmth of your left palm against the back of your right hand. And let's breathe here, in through the mouth. And as you breathe out, imagine that there's a blue light floating in your throat space. Breathe in through your mouth. As you inhale, that light grows brighter. And exhale. Inhale again. And exhale. When you breathe in this time, imagine a green light glowing in your heart space, breathing in. And as you exhale, it expands and grows brighter. Inhale. And exhale. As you inhale now, you see an indigo light right at your third eye. Breathing in. Grows brighter. And exhale. Breathe in. And exhale. One more time, in. And and exhale. On your next inhale, you notice a yellow light right at your solar plexus. Breathing in, it grows brighter. And exhale. Let's make this one even more audible. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in and exhale. Next, your inhale brings your attention to a violet light at the top of your crown. Breathing in and exhale. Breathing in and exhale. Watching this light grow ever brighter. One more inhale and exhale. Attention drawn now to a beautiful orange light as you inhale. You watch this orange light expand in your sacral chakra and exhale. In and exhale. Again. And exhale. Breathing in through your nose all the way up through the top of your head. Your attention is drawn now to a brilliant white light floating far above your head. Inhale. And as you exhale, grows ever brighter. Inhale. And as you exhale, it starts to illuminate all of the space around you. Inhale. And exhale. Your exhale continues. Draw your attention all the way down the center line of your body to your root. And as you inhale, a beautiful red light begins to glow. As you exhale, this light expands out all around you. Inhale. And exhale. It expands out in all directions. It expands down deep into the earth. Inhale. And exhale. Just letting your breath be easy. Draw your attention to all of these beautiful orbs of light, all the way up the center line of your being, extending from your root all the way up into the space above you. And notice that this white light seems to be enveloping your entire being as it illuminates the world around you. Bringing your attention outside into your environment now. Notice that there are a number of other beings that are also illuminating the space around them. Gathered in a circle, everyone facing the center. Everyone glowing with all of these beautiful colors. Feel into the gratitude in your heart for your choice to show up here in this moment, to spend this time being present with you, to mirror to all others this beautiful love and connection. On the count of 3, Imagine yourself stepping forward with your left foot into this sacred space that we've been cultivating with our breath and with our intention. 1, 2, 3, step in and notice how the atmosphere around you changes, softens, brightens, lifts. What do you notice? Is there a ripple that was created by your movement? Watch where that ripple goes, sending love into your life, into the world around you. On your next inhale, let your hands drift slowly off of your chest. And as you exhale, let them land down on your lap or at your sides. Inhale. And as you exhale, let your eyes softly open if they've been closed. Inhale. And look into the eyes of someone else on this call. And shine your light. Share your love, your gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate all of you for participating in this sort of present moment with me. It feels very sacred and intentional. If there's anyone who would like to share today, anything that's going on for you, anything that's in your heart, coming up in your space, your life, how it feels to shift from Cancer season, which has been all about our feelings, into Leo, which is all about love. Curious if we have any Leos on the call. Oh yeah, Antoinette. Oh yeah, Kelly. Amazing. I'm curious if shifting into Leo just feels like a coming home for you, or for any and all of us. I know that I felt it immediately. Daniela, yeah.
I'm a Leo sun and a Leo ascendant.
Ah. Love on love on love.
Yeah.
How are you feeling, Antoinette?
I'm feeling well. I actually had a challenging time going to bed. It was like I was awake all night, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. I'm probably so looking forward to this that I can't sleep. That's the way I embraced it anyway.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Kelly, how are you feeling?
Had to unmute. I'm like Antoinette. I'm the Leo sun and ascending as well. With my Aquarius in the middle with my moon. But yeah, just feeling I think I wrote it in the thing, just kind of happy and sunny, just really uplifted, just like, I don't know, empowered, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful. So how was Cancer season for people then? Katrina, I know you're Cancer. Allie, yeah, go ahead.
Cancer season was interesting. I felt like I was in my head. Like I was just dissecting everything and trying to make sense of things. And I felt I was really harsh on myself,
Mm-hmm.
even with all the learnings that, we've all been going through. But especially, with all of the serious joy, I had to keep catching myself. Like I wasn't as negative as in the past with
Mm-hmm.
all my affirmations and, my wording, but I had to keep catching myself, um, in my inner thoughts. And
Mm,
as soon as Leo hit, that was completely gone.
yes,
Um,
interesting.
yeah. And what was very interesting was I went to Lorraine's in-person class.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I went yesterday, and it was just a beautiful connection as usual, meeting up with, Human Garage and like-minded people. And I didn't expect it, but someone there had a major release and I assisted her with the emotional release. And that was just so powerful. It just felt like such a great thing to start Leo season with this, like, just like a gift of helping someone with that process, that I felt so energized when I woke up today. So I feel like it was just like perfect timing, as everything usually is. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I just wanted to share that.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I just choose to acknowledge you, Allie. I feel like you're you're such a beautiful support for people that are going through something emotional. I've gotten to know you fairly well in the last year and a half, and I just love that you're stepping up and leaning into that more and more and more. I think it's such a gift to the world.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually I told Lorraine yesterday afterwards, I was like, you know what? And I've spoken to Lee about this as well. When those moments happen, I know it's like it's beyond me. It's
Yeah,
more of like an inner knowing as to a connection to my higher self.
yeah,
And it's such a strong feeling, and I just want more and more of that. So
yeah,
thank you. I
yeah.
appreciate your words.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that you're acknowledging and identifying that because it's almost like a like your great self or your higher self or whatever it is that we choose to call that, that is just like leaning in and you surrender to that inner knowing within you. And it's almost like a channeling of that love coming through you to hold space for that other person. That's my perception of it anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Beautiful. Mm. Is
Thank
Lorraine
you.
going to be doing more of those classes or is that just a one-off?
She is. She posted on, I think she's doing like 3 sessions in August. I know the third is the first one. I will be away. Um, but I think it was like the third, the 16th. I'm not really sure on the exact dates, but I'm pretty sure they're in the Human Garage app as well.
Yeah, awesome. So if there's anybody near like the New York area, there's some great live events going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff popping up in the app and some things changing with the structure of the online classes. So definitely check that out if you haven't been to that area for a while. Awesome. Thanks, Sally. Would anyone else like to share about their experience? Yeah, Katrina.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm a definite Cancer. I feel. And it's been an interesting Cancer season for me. And it was interesting today because I wanted to still be in that feel. And but I feel this way and I feel this way. And then I just caught myself to be like, set the boundary at being step 0 and just be quiet a little bit and receive and feel it in a different way. And whatever was coming in, I felt it in more lovingly. And yeah, because my moon is, I think I'm a 24-degree Leo moon.
Mhm.
So it still brings in sort of like that feeling of love. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed opening up these areas, Lee. And I sort of explored a little bit more into some different spots along that area. And I had so much shift and move in there. So I like from a physical point, that was really good. I like that. And I'm looking forward to doing the 40 days of self-love. I started it last year and I couldn't finish. So yeah, I'm stepping into that one today. And I was talking to even my husband last night, and I just said, hey, do you want to do 40 days of self-love? I didn't tell him anything about Serious Joy. And he's like, okay, well, maybe.
Awesome.
So I may just even ask some of the questions,
Yeah.
just like a couple of them. Doesn't have to be full on for him. And then it's just awareness for me too. It's bringing it from, like that Lee said, sometimes that the internal voice is talking, but when we put it out as well, and Alessandra said it today, is like when you're supporting in a kind and loving way, it's helping you shift as well. So it's going to help me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Does everyone know what Katrina's talking about with the 40 days of self-love? Everyone's familiar with Serious Joy, and okay, so on the Serious Joy app, there's a free program called 40 Days of Self-Love that starts today. It goes for 40 days, and it is a deep dive into, it's really an opportunity to up level and transform your relationship with yourself, loving yourself and love overall. I did it last year and did the full 40 days, and it transformed some things in a pretty profound way for me. So if you have the time and the space and you're curious and you're part of Serious Joy, I encourage you to check it out. It sounds like there's a bunch of people in the community that are going to be doing it this year. And I know that some changes have been made to it from last year. So I'm curious what those are too. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to hearing more about it. Yeah, Ruby.
So I have an iOS and I'm not able to get the app. I have an iPad and I have an iOS phone. So has anybody else experienced that?
It's not an app.
You just need to download Chrome and then you'll be able to open it. So you're just not, if you download Google Chrome, you can do that on your iPad and your phone. I did that as well. I've got both Apple products, and then you just go through Chrome and the Serious Joy will open.
Right.
Okay.
Safari that's not supported anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah. When they made the shift, it stopped doing that. So just download
And so I use
Google.
Firefox.
It's free.
Oh yeah.
You use
Or
Firefox?
just use it on a computer if you have.
Yeah, but you'll still need to not use Safari if you're on a Mac. I think
Yeah.
that's the workaround.
It
Yes.
actually is working already now on Safari. I found that yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Just
okay, that's
recently.
good.
Yeah, just recently.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully that works for you, Ruby.
Thank you.
Yeah. Julie?
Just a quick question regarding that. I went on this morning with the great intention to start it, and there was just the intro. Is that where we're at right now on it? Is it just the intro, is 13-minute intro? Can anybody speak into that potentially? And is tomorrow the day, or does it happen later on today?
It's in the education side.
Edutainment.
Edutainment. It's in there. So under that link.
Yeah,
I could only get the introduction as well. Were you
Me
able
too,
to
yeah.
get more? Okay.
It's there. I saw it like just before I turned on today's call. I saw it.
Okay.
Oh, so maybe
Yeah,
they
there's-
opened up the space potentially
Yeah.
because it wasn't open like a half hour before, because I was in there playing and I was looking for refreshing and seeing.
I'm
what was
looking now. I
Yeah.
can't see it.
It's
I
only
can only see introduction too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Only the introduction that's released right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I saw all the questions though.
Yeah,
Oh.
I answered 10 questions this morning.
And I watched today's
Oh.
step 0. I
Nice.
actually
Oh.
watched it last night.
So you've seen everything, Katrina.
Yeah.
Lucky you, Katrina.
Yeah, aren't you special? Yeah.
How did you do that?
We're all special, but that's quite interesting that some of us aren't able to get into the beginning of the questions yet.
Yeah, the questions, they've got 10 for the 40 days, and then he's added another 10 if you've already done the 40 days.
the
then you
ascension.
can do the second for the ascension. Yeah, correct.
What?
Katrina.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yeah, so they're right underneath each other. So they're right there. So if you've
Wow.
done the program before, he suggests you go on with the ascension. But if you haven't done the program before, he says stick with the first 10 questions.
Okay, well now I'm doing it.
There you go.
Yeah, thanks, Antoinette. That was just the invitation I was waiting for. I was like, well, I've already done it. I'm like, what? Ascension?
No,
Yes, please.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so hopefully, and it might be if people are on different browsers. I'm curious if that maybe.
I'm trying that right now to
I'm
see if it's on.
curious too.
Yeah. So Katrina was on Firefox on a Mac, you said, right? And Antoinette, are you on a Mac as well?
No, I'm on Chrome on Windows.
Mhm.
Chrome on Windows. Okay. So yeah, maybe I would encourage people, if you're not seeing the questions, just play around with it a little bit. Try some different platforms. And Daniela in
It
chat
was
says
once a
Lori
year.
works
Was
on
it
iPhone.
correct?
Once a year, yeah. Oh, well, you can do it
Okay.
anytime. It's always there, but it's really potent. Like he suggests doing it during Leo season, and that it's so potent astrologically.
And always start step 0.
Right. Yeah.
I
So
just tried on Safari and it's kind of glitching. It's not letting me pull some things up. It's like, yeah. So
yeah.
Firefox or Chrome.
And
The
then
other thing that Chris mentioned yesterday during his talk was that this is the most powerful Leo season that we will have in our lifetime.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. So if you're gonna do it, this is it.
Yeah. Wow. That's a big invitation.
And I don't think it's as long as the 40 days of life and purpose and 40 days of karma. It's a lot shorter.
Last
So
year
10
it was
minutes
a
a
lot.
day should
It was
be.
way shorter. Yeah. Yeah. Not like hours and hours, just hour, maybe.
And the first 10 days, there's a lot of journaling, he said, 10, 11 days. And then after that, it's a lot of reflection back on your journal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just curious, just with a quick show of hands, how many people are intending to do it this go around? Oh, yeah, quite a few. Maybe Christina. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. I'm so curious to hear how the experience is for everyone. If people are checking in with this call on Mondays, we can have a little chat about it. That's great. So how else has the experience been for everyone? Like what's going on? How are you feeling? It was the last month a lot. I found for myself, so I'm a Cancer Aquarius sun and then an Aquarius Cancer moon. So I do have a lot of Cancer in my chart. And when we first shifted into Cancer season, I was like feeling things like this is my world. I love this. This is the best. And then as the month went on, I felt like I was getting pretty bashed around and I had a lot of stuff coming up. And yeah, I'm curious if anybody else had any experiences like that or had big like breakthrough moments. Ria.
So I've been gone for a little bit. I went on a little trip to my home state of New Mexico. I'm located in New York. But I had a vision of returning home and the embracing and the comfort and kind of like my homeland of New Mexico would be there to really welcome me. And it was not that experience at all. It was very disappointing. And I feel very sad about it. I'm kind of dealing with that still. It's better today than it has been. But I kind of it's like this bittersweet where I'm trying to embrace like, oh yes, you have this home. You've actually built a home in New York for yourself. You're finally feeling this, but also the longing for the past and the feeling of comfort in that space. So, and I was doing the LSA1, which ended during the time I was there, and I didn't finish the last like 10 days of LSA1 because I got distracted with all the travel. It was a lot. It was very fast paced. And I feel sad about that too, because I was really gung-ho about moving through this process. Something definitely got stuck, which I found interesting, first in my throat, and then in my ear. So there was a lot of healing going on, and still is. Actually, today really helped Leah with what was going on in my ear. It helps shift things there. But also this feeling of I'm not voicing my true self. And do I really know my true self? So I think that this serious joy step feels like exactly the right timing in this call and being here. I mean, I've always looked forward to these calls. They're just the greatest in my book. It's like, woohoo, Monday. But yeah, this all feels really good and really good timing. And I connected with somebody that I met through Human Garage about a place that he's trying to renovate for a retreat and working with him in that space. And that felt really good. So it feels good to be in this flow again. It's kind of like, oh, okay. And I did not sleep last night either. I think somebody else said that too. It was such a strange night. And I was like, okay, embrace it. Is there anything, and I was doing my fascial maneuvers in bed, and I've been continuously every day I do fascial maneuvers. It's become definitely a good, solid part of my life. But I missed you all. I missed this community. I missed feeling supported. And I thought I was going to get that going home. So yeah, it felt like a lot of turmoil the last like 2 weeks of Cancer. And then now I'm starting to feel like, okay, Leo's here and it's time to really work into it. I'm like, okay. Ooh. But today really helped. I definitely needed the grounding.
Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah.
That's great, Ria. Thanks so much for sharing. I definitely feel that energy in the throat when you're talking. And I love that you did feel like the maneuvers gave you some support there. I'm curious, if I may ask, what was the feeling that you had in going back?
Very disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
I felt and it was, it's my family. I love my family dearly. They're wonderful people. There's not a lot of like tension in the family, a little bit with my father. But that was actually the best time, which was kind of a surprise. But that's when the throat stuff started, is when I was visiting my father. And I know that that's where it got blocked. So it was just, I felt very disconnected. Like I couldn't focus and I couldn't enjoy just being in that moment because I was worried about my son and worried about the food that we were getting and the quality of it. And was everything going to be okay? And where were we going to sleep tonight? And did I have everything packed? And, there were just a lot of pieces going on. So I felt just the scattered disconnection.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you speaking into that. So interesting when we take ourselves out of our life as we've built it, which usually involves all of the supportive elements that we have chosen, right? That we've brought in. And when we go somewhere that used to give us comfort and used to be that place that we could lean in and it doesn't feel the same. I totally get that. It can feel really disorienting in some ways. And it's so interesting because maybe things there have changed and definitely you have changed. And it's an opportunity to take a look at what those changes are within you, because whatever's happening there is a reflection of what's in you potentially, right? And what feels like it might have been, a place that offered comfort or something that you were really looking forward to might actually be there and be happening for an even greater purpose, just to show you what you've built in this new life in New York that you love and appreciate so much. And this community. I find it really interesting that you didn't feel as connected when you went back there. I was just having a conversation this morning about a course that I went to a few weeks ago, the animal communication, nonverbal communication course. And it was the first time I've really been in a group of people that weren't HG in a while. I've been pretty fully immersed in this for a while. And it was interesting. It was a really different energy. I walked in thinking, this is great. I'm just going to get to know people like I do here and it'll be awesome. And it was like one word answers. People were really quiet, not super warm and open. And it was a bit jarring because I'm used to this and I'm used to feeling so in sync with other people's energy. And so to be in community where it feels a little bit different, it's just an opportunity for us to notice what emotions are coming up. Like, does this feel comfortable? Am I okay feeling disconnected, or is that really scary? Like, how does this feel? What is this like? Yeah.
I definitely resonate with that um, a lot. It just feels interesting because I thought that that was going to give me a space where I felt that support. Like you said, like it's like, oh yeah, I'm used to this human garage feeling, and I thought I was going to get this feeling, but even more because it's my family, and it was so wrong. It was so wrong. But I did get to meet Paula in person real fast.
Oh, I love Paula. Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, just pure love, that one.
Oh yes, I wish I had more time with her. It was definitely, and it's interesting because I'm like, oh, I wish I had more time with her, but I really wanted to spend time with my family. But no, I really want to go back and see Paula.
Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah. Yeah, and as things shift and grow, it doesn't mean that, feeling more disconnected from family, for example, in this scenario, that it's always going to be like that. It might just be a reflection of something, an opportunity for some growth in this moment.
I definitely appreciate that too, because I feel a big sense of healing. Like I said, it started in my throat and things are moving and it kind of is, up in my ear. So I feel like it's kind of like, okay, we're gotta get back into the human garage every day. And yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back into LSA one. Finish
Yeah,
it up. And
amazing.
now Serious Joy.
Yeah, so many fun things to play in.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so nice to see you, Ria. I've definitely noticed that you haven't been on the calls. You've got such beautiful energy. Yeah, it's nice to have you here. Any other shares? Anything people would like to speak into? We're all kind of resting in the arms of love today.
Can I just share gratitude? In the busyness of the day, to have this pause at 2 p.m., it's such a gift. And I love through the fashion maneuvers I could connect and become present. But what you took us through, Kyla, was just also very beautiful. And I feel like I've connected to not just my physical being and my emotional being, but also like my whole soul being. And so the combination of everything today and everyone's like heart shares, it is such a beautiful community and a beautiful place to connect and feel more whole and more your true self. So just thank you for us all coming together. Thank you for hosting, Lee, Julie, and Kyla. Yeah, it's just, I feel more myself and present. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Nami. I really appreciate that and you. Yeah. Yeah, it's really a beautiful time, this sort of midday, early afternoon. I know it's evening for some of us. Yeah, just to pause and come here and spend some intentional time together. Yeah, it really is such a lovely gift and opportunity. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Would anyone else like to share anything today? We're all feeling good, ready to go back into the rest of our day. Maybe we'll see some of you in the Serious Joy app. Might be interesting actually to start a thread maybe under discussions. I'll put something on there. And anyone who chooses to jump in and just be a part of a conversation around the 40 days, that would be a way that we could have something in the app. Might be fun. Awesome. Okay.
We did that last year and that was pretty interesting, supporting each other through. So
Perfect.
this next group coming through. Thank you, Kyla, for bringing
Yeah.
that forward.
On the app or in Telegram last year? Was there one in the app?
I believe there was one in Telegram last year. I don't think it was in the app because I didn't think the app had those kind of streams last year. Things have changed so rapidly in the last year.
For sure. Yeah, I'll drop something in discussion and we'll see. And yeah, there is the one in Telegram. It's got quite a few people in it that are in Human Garage and not in Human Garage. It's a fairly big group. It might be nice to have a bit more of an intimate group. So I'll put that together when we get off the call.
Thank you, Kyla. That's a wonderful idea. Thank you.
Fabulous. Yeah.
You know what I think would be cool in that as well is as we're journaling, if something comes up, we can share, but we can also give each other support as to like, oh, this maneuver might help to open that, or, you know, some wise wisdom words or some amazing decrees to support one another during each day. That would be cool.
Katrina, that's a great idea.
All right, I put it out there, you know, I'm manifesting it so that I have all these amazing decrees and I don't have to think, I can just feel.
This is creating in real time. Okay, so we'll put a group together. We'll put it under discussion. If you don't see it under discussion, it'll be somewhere else. I don't see why I would be able to put it under discussion. I'll drop it there and then let's build off of this. And it would actually be really fun to coordinate some maneuvers and decrees with the 40 days.
Yeah.
Awesome.
What I need, so I put it out. Someone will help me do it.
Yeah.
I'm
totally.
Surrendering, and what was it? I'm choosing to ask the universe, or I'm choosing for the universe to support me, right, Lee?
Beautiful.
I love it.
And I receive the support. I say yes.
I receive it.
Yeah, that's a key component, right, Lee?
Yeah, I ask for support and I use the support.
Yeah.
And I see it when it's like slapping me in the face.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm actually, I've been walking a lot because we're dog sitting just outside of Vancouver. And I've been doing, I went to Lee's place in Montreal. I saw Ali and a few other people, and Lee did this amazing hip release. So there's the Human Garage hip release, but this was like just a slight different modification. And I've been doing it for so many people and they're just like, wow. And then because I've been walking, the mountain is right behind us and it's stepping all the time. And I'm doing this for an hour, twice a day, up and down, up and down. Today, I'm choosing to get someone to do this hip release for me, and I'm going to guide them. I'll do it for them first, but I need a little compression and tension. Like, I love the idea that, you know, when there's a little bit of pain or discomfort, or to push into something and then to give it some ease to release. And so, you know, when there's that discomfort in life, physically, emotionally, you know, lean into it a little, because sometimes it's just going to give you that little spring back and phew,
yeah,
it opens. Oh my gosh, I just did that sound. My kids laugh at me because I make all these sounds to describe things.
That's the sound of hip releasing.
I do it a lot.
Yeah, I love it. There's a bunch of questions about what that hip release is.
Maybe we have to do it next week.
Sure.
Yeah. It is a partner maneuver. Come to Vancouver and we'll do it for you. Go to Toronto and we'll do it for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to cue it as a solo. So give me a moment and I'll come up with it for next time.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be awesome. And just a perfect opportunity to share that this kind of thing and these adaptations and offerings is exactly what we're doing at our inflow retreat this October and November. Yeah. So Lee is teaching partner maneuvers for days, literally.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, is that
every
the
day
move
till midnight?
I was going to ask if that was the move we learned at the retreat. That's the one, right? Where you put the foot on the other person's leg.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's part of that series.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Part of the series. And then we finish with suspending an anti-gravity upside down hip release.
Oh, okay.
That's the kicker.
Yeah.
That's the one I was trying to figure out. How do I show that?
I really feel like the footwork that we did too. So last night in bed, I did the foot one on myself. I think he might have done it in a class, not just an individual. It was so good because I could feel it. And then I actually was in bed, got up, started walking around. I'm sure my husband was like, "What are you doing in the middle of the night?" I'm like, opening my hips with my feet.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
people were awake in the night last night.
Yeah.
It would be great to have a group for that too. Is it the middle of the night for you and you're awake? Me too.
This is why
What are
time
you
zones
doing?
are so useful. You call the people that are awake when you're up in the middle of the night.
Totally. Yeah.
Absolutely. You call Australia. Hello,
Yeah.
Amira.
Here we
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
What are you doing, Julie Baker?
Yeah, that would be one thing. You could go to Julie and Amira's amazing class, which is at like 4:30 in the morning for me or something.
Absolutely. Just,
Yeah,
or give them a little ringy ding.
totally.
Can I
Amazing.
just
Yeah.
can I just speak into Katrina when you were talking about having difficult sorry, I don't remember the exact wording, but pushing into something, into a movement. I have been taught many years ago that when you are trying to do a human garage movement and you feel stoppage or stuck and you can't go any further, what you do is when you breathe in, release a little bit on that. And then as you breathe out, that's when you try and go a little bit further.
Mm.
It's kind of a running thing, but also when you're doing weights, I was taught by a boxing coach that when you're exerting strength, that is the same thing as you're exerting strength or trying to push harder or do heavier weights, that in the exertion phase is when you breathe out.
Mhm.
Because when you
Exhale,
breathe
insert.
out, when you're breathing out, you're tightening your abdomen. And so that is giving you support in your core.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's my 2
When
cents.
No, I agree with you, Ruby. That's how I cue it too. And because when you breathe in, you want to be soft because you're taking in nutrition, oxygen, blood flow, garbage is being taken out. You want all the spaciousness possible when you're inhaling what the universe is giving. Like the universe isn't cheap on breath. It doesn't say you can only have a small breath. It says take what you want. The abundance is here. So being that soft and most able to breathe in big giant clouds is the best way to go. And then exhale, exert. That's how I always cue it.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I can just add, it's the same in karate.
Mm.
You as you know, if maybe someone else knows too, when you hit your strike, you actually even make a sound. There's that other effects, but you exhale. That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Many waves.
Yeah. Yeah, big question, Ria. I saw your question in the chat. Why is it challenging for many of us to accept or receive support and help? Where does this resistance come from? Where do you feel
That
like?
actually sounds very similar. I apologize. That sounds very similar to one of the questions today, one of the 10 questions that were in the Serious Joy.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Ria, you're already channeling the questions.
So interesting.
Mhm. Yeah, Ruby says childhood. Katrina says safety and security, boundaries. Where do you feel like it comes from, Ria?
I think definitely childhood. I just kind of flew into my head, but the first thing that comes to me is having to be the perfect child,
Mm-hmm.
taking on that persona, and I can handle everything. I don't need anybody. I can do it all myself. Like I'm the perfect child. Of course I can, kind of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and being seen as being weak or not able to handle life. I mean, I think that part of it also came when I became a mother, that I need to be there. I am the one support for this one being that I created. There's been many phases I feel like where it's kind of like been kind of pounded in through society's ways, the way that society shows us in general.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's so interesting once we start to really sit with that question and pay
And
attention
how
to
to release
how it
it.
feels. Yeah.
Like how can we invite more acceptance? You know, I know when we're accepting ourselves, that's probably the first step is really accepting ourselves truly.
Yeah.
But then how do we open up to allow that, I guess, instead of maybe we don't need to release it, maybe we just need to open up another piece of ourselves to allow it. I know. It's fun to
Yeah.
explore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great piece too. Yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating. Ruby's got a book recommendation here as well. Yeah, one of the things that I've learned in my journey is that when we come in, we are dependent on these people who we perceive to be our parents. Maybe there's one, maybe there's two, whatever that energy is. There's a dependence that happens instantly. And all that we are designed for is to receive love from whatever that source is. And at some point, for many of us, that relationship starts to get complicated. And so our ultimate drive in life for so long is just to be loved by this person or people. And when that starts to get complicated, we'll call it, and there are different restrictions and things are withheld and things are negotiated and things are asked or expected, it all starts to imprint on us and we start to create a belief system based on all of that about what it costs ultimately is the most simple language that I've been able to find. What is this going to cost, this exchange? Is this exchange free? Or is there some sort of something being negotiated? There's so many things happening subconsciously. My belief is that there's an opportunity to really start to get present with this fundamental belief of what is this going to cost me? And from there, we can start to disentangle and unwind these connections and bonds that start as ultimately just wanting to be loved and turn into this whole song and dance around giving and receiving and this story about how you've got to give first. Well, actually, we receive first. That's the very first thing we do in life. And that is the natural cycle. We receive and we give, and we receive and we give. If all you do is give, eventually there's nothing left to give. You must receive in order to give. It's such a fascinating conversation. Yeah.
It's like radical. What's come to my mind is like self-love is the first thing, right? And it's like radically loving yourself enough for those pieces to, I don't know where I was going, but that radical self-love, that's something that I was saying to myself, radical self-love, like just love myself, and love myself some more.
Yeah.
And when that's there, it's like the glimmers of what I need for myself start to appear.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also radically like with that radical self-love comes like radical forgiveness.
And so
forgiveness for self and for everything that's going on, and acceptance. I don't know, like these are just words that are kind of popping up. Go ahead, Kyla. What were you going to ask?
I'm just curious, what is this word radical representing for you? What is the energy of that?
It's almost like a letting go of the boundaries, the walls, not the boundaries, but the walls that are put up that stop the love from being received.
Yeah.
Are we? So in the book, I've only just started it. She starts out by talking about her relationships and how she realizes at a certain point in her life that she thought that she was always loving person and very understanding in everything. And her partners were telling her the opposite, that she was the opposite of that.
Mhm.
And so being a psychologist, she realized that the way that she was being in relationships was how that was modeled to her in childhood, how her parents related to each other,
Yeah.
and how her family related. Like they didn't express their feelings, and so she didn't express her feelings and things like that. That's the main focus so far of what she's been talking about. I actually found her on a podcast with Kelly Grogan, who was the producer of the Heal documentary, which I highly recommend to everybody. It's an amazing documentary.
What's it called? The Healing
Heal.
Documentary?
Yeah, I think it's just the Heal documentary.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kelly's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's the heel.
Yeah, and the podcast is Heal, Heal, with Kelly. And it doesn't say the podcast number, but it's Dr. Nicole LaPera. And it's a really good podcast. I think it's like an hour and 17 minutes or something like that.
Awesome.
But it makes you, even though I've only just started the book, it makes you think back, okay, how did my parents show their love for each other? How did they show their love to their children, to their other members of their family?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the love that she's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, those are even those types of questions, you know, in the 40 days of past life and karma. Those were questions that were asked, like, how did you receive love from others, from your family, from your friends, like that type of question.
Yeah.
And when we reflect on these moments, you know, sometimes people like to journal, but, you know, I really, going back to Serious Joy and what Chris is doing in that app, it is pretty amazing how he just supports and guides a dialogue within yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, that's
So here's a
Yep. Lee. Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, it's okay. Here's a really simple one for you, Ria, that you might consider about the giving and receiving cycle, because you were asking, like, how do I become aware of what that is for me, and how do I shift it? And it's a walking meditation. It's when you walk, you notice the length of your gait on your right step to your left step, and you consciously say, "Oh, wow, there's a difference." Typically, for a lot of us, there's a difference. One's shorter, one's longer. And then consciously say, well, what would it take in my body and my breath to allow them to be equal? And start to feel where that tension's coming from as you try and consider walking with them equal. So is it tightness in my hip? Is it tightness in my back? Is it tightness in wherever? And then as you're walking, you literally assign the left side receiving and the right side giving, the masculine side of giving and the left side of receiving. And you get a sense of kind of like, in my body and in my sense, this is my imbalance of my receiving and giving. And so maybe I need to find a little more expression of my feminine side if it's a bit shorter. And it opens up your body to start asking questions as like, what am I looking for? What am I missing? And so it's not just a physical practice, it seems to expand within ourselves, like, so if that side, my feminine side, is really tight and really short, you know, what are expressions of my divine feminine? Is there something that it's right in front of me that I'm not picking up and drinking that's available for me? So maybe play with that idea of the giving, receiving, walking meditation. I find it very interesting to balance myself.
Thank you. That sounds like fun.
Have you ever done a balancing of your feminine and masculine energies with the crossing of your body? It's if you want to do it, it's very quick. You activate the energy in your hands, either by rubbing or clapping. I prefer rubbing because to me, clapping is squashing energy. And yeah, and see if you can feel it in your hands by doing your hands slowly apart. And sometimes it helps to do the breath with your hands, where you're inhaling and your hands are going apart. And as you exhale, they're going back together. And you don't actually touch your hands together. And you can do it so that you pretend that you're holding an imaginary ball and that you are, or a bubble. I've heard a bubble used as well. And that you have that in your hands and you're just moving your hands around that bubble. And some may feel it, and if you don't, it doesn't matter because it's still there. And now you're going to take your hands and you're going to take your left hand. Some use their left hand first and some use your right hand first. Play with it and see which works for you and what feels right for you. I always take my left hand first, and you take it and you don't actually touch your body. You're hovering your hand over your shoulder, and you're going to go and move that hand. And as you're doing it, you can breathe out. So you take a breath in first. And as you're breathing out, you're going to move that hand across your heart and down to your left hip. And I can already feel that. And you can just do your hand off your hip and off to the side. And then you take your right hand and you put it over your left shoulder. And you take a breath in. And as you breathe out, you move that hand across your heart and down towards your right hip. And you can either shake it out like that with your hand so that it's done at the bottom, or you can bring your hands together. But the best thing is to do that 3 times in a row. Do one side, then the other, and then alternate again. And you can try doing, I just saw Kyla doing her fingers. That gives a different kind of energy. It gives a wave kind of energy if you're really in tune with it. And it's just play with the energy, see what works for you. And it actually does more if you have it away from your body, but you can do different distances away from your body. Try like an inch or 2 and try doing it so that it's about 6 inches away from your body while you're doing it. And that is supposed to bring your masculine and feminine energy into sync, to be centered. And it's centered above your heart and in your heart.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ruby.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I definitely felt that shift.
Yeah. I love doing that before I go to bed.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, that's great. Oh, well, I feel like that would be a really beautiful place to close the call if everyone feels complete. Yeah. Thank you so much. This has been a really amazing call. Beautiful movement, followed by a beautiful conversation. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for being here and co-creating in this. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you're interested in joining, I'll post something under discussions later today for the 40 days. We'll see
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.